Kevin Barclay. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, congratulations.
No, but this is a great way to end things, right? Just to be able to talk to you guys and the community because they've been instrumental in the success of the company during my almost 34 years.
Wow. 34 years. So let's talk. How did you end up in Jackson?
Well, I ended up in Jackson specifically because of orthopedic rehab.
Okay.
Ended up in Michigan because my wife is from West Michigan.
Okay.
And we were living in Ohio at the time with working for another company. And we were expecting our first child. And she said, you got to get me back to Michigan and closer to family before this baby's born. So we started looking, and I just knew the day that I sat there and watched and waited to go have my interview with Richard and Jerry, that was the atmosphere I wanted to be. I actually did a couple other interviews and just said, this is where I want to work. And that was like I think it was December of 90.
Really?
I started in February of 91.
Did Jerry hire you just because you had come from Ohio?
Well, no, because I was working in Ohio, but I'm from Buffalo, New York originally.
Yeah.
So, it was a nice lunch, and again, the music and the people smiling and having a good time, and watching the therapy that they were doing it's kind of what sold me. So so that was February of 91 we got started and had our first child in March of 91, and then we took off running for the rest of the time.
Well, it's a great company, and what an incredible institution that Orthopaedic Rehab has become. And it's been, I think, unique in that the PTs themselves are the owners of the company.
Yeah, we try to stay active. That was our very first building. Richard and Jerry got started. That the hospital referred to as the Blue House.
Yeah, I remember first hearing about ORS when I was in high school and had an injury, and that was my first experience with ORS, and Jerry was awesome. I remember working with him right away.
Oh my gosh, yeah, these are all from just, that was actually the back of Richard's house that we had kind of a quarterly meeting. There's a couple of those people that still work for the company.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have moved on.
That's amazing.
So that would have been our 15-year anniversary. And that was actually the anniversary party where Richard announced his retirement.
Wow.
That didn't go over really well at the time.
Really?
It was just a surprise. He was going to move on to Colorado and start his buffalo farm, and he just told us he was leaving the next month.
Yeah, he was wearing cowboy boots the week leading up to that. That was a big hint. He's getting ready to go.
Who's that young kid all the way on the
right-hand side?
Yeah.
That's Brandon Klump, Chief Operating Officer, and then Aaron on the left. Those guys added on. So Richard came back. It was at the 20th anniversary, and the four of us as owners, and then Richard as a former owner are coming back to kind of help celebrate.
Kevin, what are you most proud of, do you think?
Oh my gosh, I was actually just talking with Becca and Melissa this morning. I think overall what I'm most proud of is the connections with the people within our business as a team and the community. I mean, when I think about, my mind was swirling. I talked to Karen about, I don't even know what to talk about today because there's so many things of how we are connected within the community. So it's just those relationships with the community members, how they've supported us, and also just how we build a culture of fun and connection for 37 years now. So it's those relationships. It's watching the growth. That young Brandon Klump that you saw there, when I met him, I was his athletic trainer at Western High School, and he was a senior in high school. And to see him grow, Aaron was my senior PT student, and he said, if you ever have an opening, let me know. I want to come work here. And so he came on. So watching those guys grow, and that was our most recent photo. That was my last company meeting. I'm wearing the same dang shirt. I think I'm wearing the same shirt. That was actually just a couple weeks ago at our business office.
Your staff becomes family to a lot of the patients, right? There's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of milestones that people are hitting and they're proud of. It really is a family atmosphere.
It is, and when you've been there as long as we have, and there's a lot of word of mouth, and there's a lot of, I want to say legacy patients because we don't want anyone to get hurt, but when you start working on people, like I've had a situation where one of my teen athletes, many years later, brings in their child. They're now grown adult, and brings in their child for something like, okay, I've been here for just a little bit. But those connections are really important.
The race series has really blown up over the last couple of years. It's been awesome seeing the amount of people getting active and getting healthy in our community, but doing it in a fun way.
Yeah, and we've done, I think, Melissa and everyone involved, Becca, everyone that helps out with the race series, just making it more of a health promotion, fitness promotion, not just a one-time event. There's our boy Josh.
He's everybody's boy.
If I could tell a quick story about Josh.
Sure.
So in 1999, and I'm pretty sure my wife is going to watch this if she's not watching now, I left her in the hospital with, she just had our 5th child the day before. Grass Lake, I was the athletic trainer, and they had a playoff game. And I wasn't sure if the trainer was covered for me was going to show up. I also really wanted to go to the game. So everything was fine, all the kids were taken care of, and I went to the game. They lost. We tried to scramble to get a field goal at the end.
They lost to Sand Creek, right?
Yeah, thanks, Andy.
No, sorry, Josh. Josh
Josh
is one of my best friends. I'll never forget that.
So on that team was Josh.
Yeah.
Fast forward 20 years later, and he talks to me at a chamber outing and says, my wife needs to work for you. She's burnt out being a U of M athletic trainer. And so he and I had breakfast, we talked, I meet her. So Josh, as a high school athlete, I connect with him. Years later, as a businessman, he introduces me to Melissa. Melissa, and she always likes to talk about it's 7 months we basically interviewed and tried to figure out the best way to bring her on. And it had so many things that we hadn't done and so many things that needed to be done better, put them together. And so now because of that relationship in high school back in 1999, we have someone like Melissa on board.
That's so cool. Yeah, and you guys are so important to the young athletes of our community too.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
Yeah,
We had one of the most, memorable events of the entire running series, and that was the last Oktoberfest run, which is the ORS-sponsored race, your signature race, and you had a big surprise waiting for you at that race.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to talk about that. That was, I had, all of a sudden, I come home and one of my sons is there, and then, shorten the story, I just, bit by bit, I have 6 kids, and each of them started showing up at our house the Friday night before the event. And I'd planned on getting up in the morning and going to help set up like I normally try to do when I can, and then help break down and just be there. This is a big event for us. So they start showing up, and they all tell me they were there to do the race. And I'm like, oh my God, because my daughter said, you had mentioned that one time you want us all to be there for the race. So that was kind of cool, and I went, and I called Brandon and said, hey, I'm not sure what's going to happen, and I can stay. Well, he knew all along, and I had no idea he knew. And then I got there, and they all showed up, but then friends and family and just some of the people I love the most in my life came. Not everybody could be there, but there was a lot of people that were there, and it was amazing. And you guys grabbed some nice pictures of that also.
Yeah. Yeah, dozens and dozens of people part of that surprise, and it was very emotional. And I know you've had a lot of emotions over the last few weeks as your career winds down. But I think it's a great demonstration of the impact of you on the company and the company on you.
No, it's been wonderful, and I'm going to stay connected, and I'll spend a lot more time with family and friends than I will with Orthopaedic Rehab, but I still will be connected and help out any way that I can.
And you are a runner. When's the last time are you a retired runner?
Well, I've been dealing with a torn meniscus and some other things. The last major thing I did, I was able to do the Boston Marathon in 2016.
Okay.
And then since then, it's been starting to train and not being able to. So I would dishonor runners by calling myself a runner right now, but I do plan to be again.
Awesome. Yeah, you have 6 marathons under your belt?
Yes, I do.
That's awesome. Amazing.
Yeah, orthopedic rehab specialists have been a big part of JTV, our entire history, which we greatly appreciate. And our partnership, most recently with photo galleries, is our most popular feature on our website. And we thank you for being our longtime sponsor of the photo galleries.
We love looking at the pictures.
Yeah, so does the community, we found out for sure. And we try and get to as many things as possible and cover the community as it's deserved. So.
Well, I think of the connection that started with us was way back when there was some really good Lumen Christi high jumper that I think we met just a few years.
Yeah.
Just a few years ago.
Long time ago. Yeah, a lot more than 2/3 through your career.
Yeah, and we all personally, our family, have personal connections. I've been a patient. I was a client. Nick Van Bogelen was my trainer for, oh my gosh, 10 years.
I remember meeting with you talking about Nick and
remember
the
I
importance
dumped
of
coffee.
that. No, until you said that, I had forgot about it. But yes, I do remember that now. Yeah, no, it's been great, and the tide in the community and some of the people that are in positions and things within the company that I remember as high school kids. It's kind of fun watching everything.
So what are you going to do next? Just chill out, relax, family?
Well, it doesn't seem like anything different other than taking just some time off for vacation just because of the holidays.
Sure.
I think the big thing we have planned is my wife and I are going to take off. We now have a fifth wheel. And so
All right.
Yeah, so we have a big trip planned. We're going to take off in the end of February and do that for a while. Cool. But a lot of it's going to be just spending more time with kids, grandkids, doing more stuff around my own house, and just being able to have a little bit of freedom of time for the most part.
Are the kids all spread out?
We're kind of in the center, so we have 2 kids in Kalamazoo, 1 near Detroit, and 2 down in Fort Wayne. We do have 1 with us now who's taking his master's at U of M, so he's home. So we're no longer empty nesters for now.
Oh, no one's too far away. You got about an hour and a half radius. That's not bad.
Yeah, less than 2 hours is fine for us.
It's a good setup. And the company continues as a new owner steps in and takes your spot.
Yeah, Michael Cox came in. Mike was a Hanover Horton grad, although he's been up in the Lansing area for quite a long time. He became one of our RVPs, and then Corey Rogatsky, who was a Hanover grad, RVP down here, but then Mike came in and just took ownership as of December.
Yeah, for us it's been fun seeing some of these former high school athletes that have played on JTV having careers at ORS. Very cool.
Yeah, I think you were able to play football with a broken arm once, thanks to ORS.
Thanks to ORS and a custom pad that was made for sure. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, sure, why not? Broken arm, get out there.
It's fine. It healed just fine.
Yeah. So this company, nearly 37 years. What are you is the impact of the firm, of the practice on the community? As you look back, what are you most proud of?
Well, again, I guess the one thing I was the most proud of, like I said, was kind of watching the growth of people and the connections with the community. But as I was mentioning this morning, was one of the biggest individual accomplishments, I think, was becoming an athletic trainer, starting our sports medicine programs. When I came in here, no schools had athletic trainers.
Right.
And so I became an athletic trainer through Albion College. I was actually on the sidelines when they won the national championship.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
94?
Watching those grow, 94? Yeah. So 95, we started the programs at Western and Jackson High, and watching those grow. I think and having those connections out in the community.
Well, Kevin, we certainly wish you the best in retirement, and thanks for being with us today, and thanks for all you do for JTV. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for all you guys have done for us over the years, for sure.
From orthopedic rehab specialist, retiring owner Kevin Barclay. More of the show right after this.